You are listening to Partynerdz Radio.
Welcome to the party! Party nerds, we are back!
Yeah.
We got some good topics tonight to talk about. So let's jump right into it. We're going to start off with Jonathan Majors has been announced that he will be playing Kang the Conqueror in Ant-Man 3.
I think that's fucking brilliant.
Really?
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, yes, I do. Yes. Yes.
And why is that? Why is that brilliant?
All right. Look.
The casting is brilliant, or him coming in Ant-Man 3 is brilliant?
All right, I think both.
Okay.
I mean, for one, we get our next villain. Hopefully we get our next villain basically for hopefully for years to come of Kang the Conqueror taking over the role of Thanos, who was no longer with us. Praise be the dead. You know what I'm saying? He got dusted twice, chopped his head off. They did a couple things to my man. But the thing is, Kang is a whole different animal. And if we remember from basically phase 3, the ending of that, all that basically happened was them fucking with the timeline. And who should enter the MCU after this point of them basically disastrously doing that? And Captain America, I blame Captain America for one. Him going back in time, coming back as an old man, fucking with the whole entire spread. Kang saw that shit from the outside looking in, and then voila, here's the grand entrance.
So, but the thing is, in the comics, Kang actually, he's a pretty significant villain. He's not on like the Doctor Doom level, but he's up there. Like, aren't there a lot of major story arcs connected to him in the comics?
You got Secret. He's a portion of Secret Wars. Doctor Doom's like the heavy big bad in there, but pretty much the introduction of the New Avengers. So take in for instance that the New Avengers was pretty much where you saw like Kang get his footing, and that was pretty much the second generation New Avengers that got put out, and then him just basically disrupting timelines and starting from Iron Lad to Kang the Conqueror and Immortus, like it's in good hands to have this type of character in it.
He has a lot of history, and it can get very confusing when it comes to Kang. So he's from the future.
Yeah,
I think it's 6311 is the Earth he's from. That and so that timeline, and his actual real name is Nathaniel Richards, who is a descendant of Reed Richards.
But wait, is that the concrete storyline? See, because I heard a lot of things. I heard that's one of the story. He had like 3 or 4 backstories. So,
right.
Well, the thing is this: he has an origin, and the thing is, once he started jumping into the timeline, he caused a divergent timeline with another Kang in it. So now you have multiple Kangs all over the place in different timelines doing their own thing of trying to conquer those timelines. And sometimes they'll cross over and meet each other. So like I say, it can get very confusing if you're into the comics and know the history of it. And he had many names from Immortus and the Centurion, and he's had many names also. So
Iron
Lad, so it gets even more confusing because there's so many Kangs, but he's changed his name, but it's really the same dude, but it's from a different divergent timeline. It's a headache.
Yeah.
So, but do you think the movie is going to go with the descendant of Reed Richards, or do you think they're not going to?
Look, this is the thing.
Because if that's the case, we have a whole bigger topic.
No.
Will Mr. Fantastic be black?
No, and this is the thing. He can be black. Because if he is a descendant, shit, I'm descended probably from like a slave owner. Yeah, my skin got a little bit darker and everything, a little bit. But you know what I'm saying? I mean, but I'm just saying, if I'm a descendant from a slave owner and I'm
I thought you were a descendant of Al Jarreau.
Fuck out of here. But I'm just saying, look, if you're from the 63rd Earth, if you're a descendant this far down the timeline, if you're a descendant of Reed Richards, you can be black.
That's true. That's true. Like, so how many generations skip is he supposed to be in the comics?
It's so far into the future you can't even count
so far.
It's like 40. It's like the 30th century he's from.
It could be Reed.
He went
Reed's
to the
great grandkid
to conquer that also. So he's traveling through time all through.
Yeah. You can't say that none of Reed's great grandchildren ain't never born a black woman. Come on, you know what I'm saying? Or vice versa.
Yo, can you imagine? They might do that. They might make Reed and Sue Richards. They might make it interracial. I mean, look, everything going on today, man.
Well, look, Bravo always says it great. If race has nothing to do with the character's history, the character could be any race at that point. You know, so like Black Panther has to be black.
Yes.
You know, you can't change that. Magneto has to be Jewish. It goes.
But we argue that.
And it's history. It's true, but that fits for his character's history. But Bruce Banner could be anybody. It's never been a part of his history what his race, in that sense, his race and nationality, well, he's just a scientist at the end of the day when it comes down to it. He's never played a big part in his role. I mean, they had a black Johnny Storm already.
Yes, they did.
So, you know.
And we like to forget about that. Not because he was black. It was just the movie was trash.
He was black because the movie was trash. That's right. But, so you could do these things. But, I mean, Kang the Conqueror is a villain that even if you killed him off in the movie, he can always come back because there's so many timelines where somebody like Thanos, once he's dead, again, he's alive in other timelines, of course, but for our timeline, that character's dead. You probably wouldn't see him again, even from another timeline, where Kang can always come back into this timeline, no matter what's going on.
And it's funny, when we put a post about that on our Partynerdz page, a lot of people, they see Kang with the blue face. They don't realize in the comics it's actually like a glass face shield. So for the most part, I mean, there has been variations where they made him blue, but normally it's just like if someone put on like a yellow visor or something like that. So his skin can be any color. He doesn't have to be this or that, you know?
Right. But he was white in the comics, so that's what's going to upset people.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, there's only like small inclinations that you see of Kang. Like, you don't see through the face shield that often. You know him as Iron Lad from being white. You know him from being Immortus as being white, but you don't see that as him being Kang. And note, the actor that's playing the role, Rising Star, and Jonathan Majors, who's basically doing Lovecraft Country right now.
And I just started watching that. That show's crazy. That
show is excellent. You know
crazy.
What I'm saying? And the basically the premise that they're basically taking from that. He was in that. He was in the Five Bloods. That was the Spike Lee movie that came out on Netflix. Yeah. He was in The Last Black Man in San Francisco. So this dude's getting like critical acclaim. It's only right that you know the MCU, they pick up rising actors all the time.
So now, but like with that kind of leads into the whole right now, like the MCU announcing all these. I mean, these are big delays going on. I mean, I get it. I guess they want people in the theaters because right now, like I went to go see Tenet the other week. There was no one in the theater. There were some people there, but people are still not going out yet. So do you think, is Marvel doing this just to, stall? What's the point?
It's pretty much saving face at this point because, like, people remember we saw from the last Comic-Con, the Phase 4 was already set out. We were pretty much supposed to be, Black Widow was supposed to be already finished and done with. Wandavision was supposed to be finished and done with. Falcon and Winter Soldier was supposed to be beginning. That was it. And then Eternals at the end of the year. We were supposed to have 4 projects already lined up. We're only going to get 1 this year. And you know what I'm saying? And this is basically pushing back everything. But where do we see this basically going as far as the delays are concerned? Are we going to actually, like, is it going to be that much of a pushback for us to be like more in anticipation for the movie that we want to see it firsthand?
Yeah. But the biggest thing, it's money. It always comes down to money. These movies, so here's the deal. The movies that Marvel makes are $1 billion movies now. Yeah. Black Widow was expected to make $1 billion.
Yeah.
Though that money that's made from those movies is what helps the other Marvel movies to be made and the TV shows also. So if you're not going to make that money, how can you make these other projects? How you can do more movies? So you have to, you don't want to lose the money at the end of the day. So, and Tenet is showing that with Tenet being out. It's not making the money that it would have made if it came out. And
it's not making the money stateside. Internationally, it's killing.
It's killing it internationally. So and it'll probably get there, but it changes things. People don't want to go into the theaters right now still to watch a movie, and you can't put it on, Disney Plus and it charges $30. It won't make the billion that.
But are you sure about that? Because right now I hear Mulan is doing great. I hear Mulan is. Yeah. That's what I heard. I heard Mulan. I heard that there was a couple other movies that they released on streaming that did very well. Now, obviously, it's still in the test phases because, everyone's stuck at home. And plus, I think you're taking away the experience. When you see something at home, I don't care how great it is, it's not the level of greatness as seeing it in a theater. Because you leave that theater, feel like, with the surround sound and all that stuff, the AMCs and stuff like that at home, unless you have a pimped out dope equipment, it's just not going to be the same.
Yeah.
Well, I look at it as they made Mulan the guinea pig and was kind of like, okay, if this is sort of a home run, we might put Black Widow on Disney Plus. But what happened was they pushed Black Widow to 2021, far into 2021, which made you think there's no way we're putting a Marvel movie on Disney Plus, not whatsoever.
Exactly. You can't do it. It's not going to make the money that it needs to make on streaming. It's a $1 billion movie. That's what they're expecting to make. Tenet might break even, at the end of the day, after, video on demand and all the other outlets that you can put a movie out on. It might break even at that point, but they might make a little bit of money on top of it also. But there's so many movies that will crash and burn if you put them on a streaming service.
That's true.
It's a huge factor.
And the only good thing of this is once it does get rolling again, and once they start opening theaters, hopefully this does happen. But at that point, right now, Disney's so far ahead. Normally there'll be a project, then you have to wait 6 months for another one. Yeah. Like, it might be like at the end of next year, we're just going to get boom, Miss Marvel, Moon Knight. We might get them back to back to back because they have all this time. Like, they're filming stuff now. They can.
Are they in production?
Oh yeah. A couple of things I read before are they're about to start She-Hulk, even though they just casted She-Hulk. Like, they're actually starting to do the pre-production, so it's almost there.
And this is the first year that Marvel hasn't put out a movie. 2020.
Yeah, no movies whatsoever.
Oh no, wait, New Mutants.
Oh, are you claiming that? That's a Fox release.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait. Was that movie so bad? Like, I didn't hear anything about it. I heard Macy Williams, Arya Stark. She even tweeted something alluding to how bad it was. So was it really that bad? Did anybody see it?
No. And the thing is, it even got backlash, not because of the fact that it was probably poorly executed and produced, because it was the final X-Men movie that was going to come out of the Fox universe. But then they had this big scandal about it. The whitewashing happened with characters like Sunspot that was supposed to be Afro-Brazilian, but he ended up being white and everything like that. So even though we talk about the whole Kang issue, that was happening with Sunspot too on the back end.
Wow.
But it was minimal because nobody cared for the movie.
Yeah, it's a Fox production, so it's trash. You gotta guess. It's a Fox production with X-Men involved. It's trash. Yeah, plain and simple, it's trash. But the streaming service stuff, it should be good. I mean, hopefully, so Wandavision should be coming out by the end of the year.
Yeah,
and then early next year you should have Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And at some point,
and then you'll get then you're supposed to get Black Widow.
Right. And two, because Black Widow's pushed back, you have to understand too, then that also pushes back other movies because that's setting up the next phase. So you can't push a movie before that because it's out of order. And you have to see WandaVision first to tie in to say a Doctor Strange. So
it's funny. I actually heard they finished. I heard they finished the What If part, What If is done.
A cartoon is easier though.
But they said What If is pretty much done, but they can't release it now because there's so much you need to know before that. What happens in Falcon and Winter Soldier? What happens in WandaVision? So we can't. If we dropped it now, it's going to be we're missing big pieces. So
and because this is Marvel's new formula now. their shows that'll be on Disney Plus all tie into the movies. So if you don't watch these shows, you may not understand certain things that are going on in the movies. That's how they're tying this together now. And you're seeing DC is trying to kind of do that a little bit themselves with the HBO Plus shows they're trying to do to make them kind of connect their universe, where they're going to get rid of the CW shows at some point in time. They're all going to be gone, and they're going to move everything to HBO because the production can be bigger, better, and everything else.
So are we saying basically with this whole thing that Dev was right all along? So is Marvel really screwing themselves and doing a connective universe because everything has basically been pushed back, and you have to line these movies up perfectly? Where DC's just like, just throw it at them. Who cares?
No. You know what? I think it's still a genius thing to do. It's a great move for Marvel to do, and I think it will work and work great. But yeah, but COVID is pushing a lot of stuff back. There's a lot of things we still can't do. So, or do only a quarter much of it. So it is what it is at this point in time.
But when you were talking, we were talking about the WandaVision, that trailer, it blew people's minds because there's so many little hints they threw in it. Like, are they going with the whole House of M story? Is that where you think they're going with it?
I think that was just like the worst. They exaggerated the hell. First off, the trailer is only a minute long, 1 minute. Like it's maybe 1 minute, 10 seconds. And the fact that a lot of publications started to call this shit House of M, House of M-esque, House of M-ish. All right, I get it. This is the part where basically Wanda breaks down and is starting to have like all these like visions and pocket realities, vision pun intended, but pocket realities where she's trying to like come out of some sort of structure as to how her powers work. Now, we don't know what's going on inside of the whole thing, but you can't say anything is House of M-ish unless there's mutants involved, Magneto's involved, anything.
Well, it could be in reverse, though, what some people are thinking. She might create the mutants from this instead of taking them away.
I did hear that.
Oh, that would be dope.
Create some, what she's
that
doing,
would be
create
dope.
Mutants.
Yeah.
And now you have all these mutants all over the world.
Right. So instead of no more mutants, it's no more mutants.
And you know what? And Jervis, if that happens, I'm actually down with that because it would explain why mutants wouldn't have been mentioned before. If Wanda did something to screw up reality and they actually still kind of like put it in there, that would be just great writing. I hope they do something like that, because it would give the story continuity, not like all of a sudden, hey, there's mutants. That would be dope. Yeah. I hope they do that.
But they've already come out with these like scenarios where the mutants have already existed throughout the MCU, like under like scathing eyes and everything like that. They've just been in hiding. So I'm not sure if that's actually like the forefront of like how they're just gonna like build this up. But it'd be cool if it was.
Look, at this point, I have full faith in Marvel, the MCU movies. I mean, we see DC's debacle. DC is so hit or miss.
Don't say that. Did you see, man, all the trailers that came out for DC fandom?
First of all, I'm not, as much as I love the first Wonder Woman, that trailer for the Wonder Woman, again, this is a whole nother podcast. I'm not totally impressed by it. Not impressed. I mean, I hope I'm wrong. I hope it's crazy, ridiculously good, but...
You're not ready for Black Adam?
It's The Rock. It's just going on. It's like Jumanji 3 back in the half. I mean, look, it might be good, but I like The Rock at this point. He's going to have the eyebrow. People like, where is the Shazam? Come on.
No, it's an origin story, man. It's going to start in the back of the ancient Egyptian times where they beat basically Dr. Fate and Hawkman. His first
JSA,
nemesis.
Bro.
Yeah, JSA, Justice Society of America.
Well, listen, this is just me jaded throughout the years.
Oh, come on.
I ain't gonna lie. I'm jaded and I've lost faith, but I hope, like I said, Shazam was good. So if they keep going in that direction, then cool. I'm with it.
And it's another exaggerated Batman trailer. Come on. He beats the dog shit out of somebody, and then you're fine.
Listen, for only 25% of a movie being shot, that trailer was fire. For real. That trailer was straight fire. So I'm looking forward to that one.
Wait, was the trailer fire or was that one scene of him beating that guy up fire?
That one scene was fire. But the trailer was dope too.
Oh man, why does everybody get so excited when Batman beats the hell out of somebody?
That's what we want to see.
Yeah, we like to see that dude get violent, man. That's all it is.
Yeah, and he's a whole different type of violent. Marvel just like shoots a beam at you, and then you're like fighting it off and everything. Like, because Batman beat you up with his bare fist, and it's some regular dude trying to feed his family.
He likes to get it in. Without a doubt. But yo, we're about to wrap this up because we're at the end of our time and everything. So, final thoughts on Marvel, James?
Hey, I think it could be a step in the right direction, but I think that all these delays are holding the fans back a little bit. And in the meantime, DC has done what they've done and have kind of shown and proved that, yeah, we're not going to do a connected universe. We can have two Batmans at one time. We're going to do Flashpoint. You know what I'm saying? So we have no problem just being scatterbrained all over the place while Marvel tries to figure out their issues with their connected universe, because everything's got to be aligned in one little pinpoint pin, you know. So it is what it is at this point. But great decision on Kang.
All right, Darnell.
Remember, you ever watch an old Sinbad comedy skit where he's talking about, like, if ever you're starving and somebody hands you a Ritz cracker, you're like, that was the best cracker ever. See, that's how the thing is. By the time Marvel puts these movies out, I don't care what they put out. We're going to be, oh, that was so good. We've been starving for content from the MCU. So maybe it was kind of brilliant on their end to make us just wait a whole year? Like, come on, I don't care. Eternals could be the wackest piece of shit. But if they release it and they haven't been much out before it, we're going to give it the benefit of the doubt. We were like, you weigh the Kumal or whatever. I mean, I think it might be a good step in the right direction. So, because we're going to be needing our Marvel fix, you know.
No.
Come on, y'all. You got more of that Taskmaster. Come on.
What you think, Jerv?
You know what? To Darnell's point, that's the same thing I was thinking about Snyder's Justice League. People have been dying to see that movie. So is it going to be just good because we wanted to see Snyder's cut of it for so long, 3 years now in the making plus, and we'll just be like, that was great? Or is it going to be trash? And you'll still think it's great because you've just been starving for his version and you hated the original version so bad.
Jerv, it's recycled trash, sir.
That's
it is
what we're going to find out. I think we're going to find out, and it may not be pretty at all. At all.
It's a 4-hour movie, Jerv.
Yeah, they're shooting more footage for it. What do you want? They're shooting more footage. I mean, adding Black
$70 million they're adding to this.
Snyder had a vision.
It better not be whack. All this money and time, it better not be whack.
Snyder's cut of that from the beginning anyway. Remember,
bro, you're adding fucking sprinkles and glitter on top of shit.
Yes, yes, I agree with that.
It's still shit.
I agree with that. It's going to be it's not like they're changing. It's not like a whole different movie. It's the same movie.
No, it's a different movie. I'm telling you, this is.
But they said it's still the same premise, just from a different.
Whedon reshot that whole movie and made it the trash you saw.
But I heard Henry Cavill didn't do the reshoots.
In the black suit?
No, they were saying they were saying that there was a lot of the shoots that they wanted him to come back and he didn't do it for whatever reason.
Yeah, it was all he did was he colored it differently. He wore the blue and red suit, but turned the color down to make it look black. So because they didn't give him the budget for another suit.
Oh.
Yeah,
that's some Photoshop shit.
So you're saying that they hit the tint on the TV?
If we do it right now, you'll look darker, James. Hold on.
First of all, why don't we balance you two out? Why don't we turn up the contrast on James and turn down a little bit for Jerv? You know,
yeah, bro, because I'm dark on this one right here.
Then you guys get Darnell.
No, we're gonna end it right there with that. Yeah, darkness is back. Well, kind of in the house.
Partynerdz.
Partynerdz.
Wow.
Partynerdz, Partynerdz, Partynerdz. Party nerds, party nerds, party nerds, party nerds, party nerds.